handwriting video number 8. This is our last video in this series. In this video, I'll be introducing you to several activities you could use as extra reinforcement for finger strength and also proper finger grip. Before we talked about the idea of using a small chalkboard with a very short piece of chalk to potentially do patterns or to actually write letters in the proper shape. This activity could be made independent if you were to include a ring of cards that have different types of patterns to do on a chalkboard and challenge the child to make that same pattern using the actual chalkboard and chalk. Another activity is using a sand or salt tray. For example, if I was writing the cursive letter A, I would first model creating a cursive A in the sand tray, and then have the child attempt to make that letter as well. Here's a very fun exercise that children might enjoy. This is a game. I'm actually going to ask, could you push the camera up a little closer? You cover the entire game board with little erasers until the child cannot see, just tilt it down a bit, until the child cannot see any of the letters that are on the board. Then each one of the players, let's say there's 2 of them, take turns removing one, looking at the lowercase letter, and then attempting to write the uppercase letter. You could actually use strips that have already dotted line capitals if you'd like to make it a little easier for the children to play the game. Another activity that children like very much, Cat's Cradle. Cat's Cradle is the kind of game that also works a lot with finger strength, and it's fun for the children to try to do the patterns with their friends. Then, of course, there's the variety of different types of stencils. Variety of different types of stencils that are not necessarily in letter shapes. For example, we have here a whole recipe box of things like cars and trains, things that happen in the spring, and the child can take out the stencils using colored pencils, trace the various shapes in order to make a whole picture on a page. Here are stencils that practice actual triangles, circles, polygons, squares. These might be selected by the teacher, particularly if the teacher sees that a child is having a hard time either making straight lines or curved lines in the letters that they're making on the whiteboard. Also, using different types of letter stencils to write messages to friends or to add words to the pictures that they're making with the picture stencils. And finally, punching out various shapes using a giant push pin. This is just the beginning. All the kinds of activities like dot to dots, mazes, writing in a grid, looking at a picture that has only half the picture and trying to complete the picture on the other side, all of those various activities will be reinforcing, exciting to children, but at the same time allow them to do a lot of fine motor practice that will benefit them for handwriting. The sky's the limit on that, really.